Yo, I'm Bob. Totally blind since birth, into Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles. And this is going to be an I wish Hasbro would make that, or maybe an I wish Super 7 would make that kind of video. Talking about possible action figures I'd like from the sequel Boom Studios Power Rangers TMNT crossover miniseries. That's a lot to say in one sentence. So, anyway, there are spoilers ahead. Major spoilers. So, if you haven't read the sequel miniseries, I advise you to do so before watching this video. You were warned, and now I'm getting into spoiler territory. Now, I can't read the actual miniseries in comic book form. I have no vision whatsoever, born totally blind, so I have to depend on YouTube video synopses. I'm thinking mostly of the Oxy 360. He does a lot of comic reviews, a lot of Boom Studios comic reviews, in which he'll, throw some synopses in there that really whets my appetite to actually sit down and read the events. Although, barring an audio adaptation of these comics, possibly an animated series from Netflix, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, with audio description added, I guess I'm just going to be depending on these comic synopses, which are awesome though. I really enjoy when Ranger fans sit down and actually talk about what they like, about all the transformations and things like that. And it's like seeing this comic book from various angles, in a way, various perspectives. So I have a lot of fun when fans actually talk about stuff like this from the comics. Because, I mean, not being able to read it, I think watching others enjoying it is the next best thing, as well as the action figures. To me, tactile representation of action figures from these crossovers, well, they're pretty awesome as well. And if you want to see TMNT Power Ranger crossover figure reviews, I've got a bunch of those way back on the Power Rangers playlist. I did those like a year ago now, but they're up there. So when it comes to action figures I'd like to see from the second miniseries, I bet you Casey Jones as Ranger X would make a pretty cool action figure. Anybody who wants to describe these new suits in the comments section, just go nuts, because I have no idea what they look like yet. The Turtles morph into the Dimension X Rangers in issue number 4. I bet you they got pretty cool suits. I would love to see the Power Rangers in Mutant Ranger form as well. They probably look pretty awesome. They transform into their dinosaur mutant personas. So I guess Zach's a mastodon, Kimberly's probably a pterodactyl, Billy's a triceratops. I bet you that looks pretty cool. And getting to hear about Splinter teaching them to control their animal sides, to use that to their advantage, that's really awesome. I love that Splinter is there in the comics. He's one of my favorite characters from TMNT. So let's see here. Krang goes without saying. I have loved Krang since seeing my first TMNT 1987 episode, April Foolish. Got it from Burger King in 1990. I loved him from that first episode. He's been one of my favorite villains ever since. Well, I mean, Shredder too, he goes without saying. But yeah, I don't know what Krang looks like in this miniseries, but he'd make a great action figure. I think he actually has two forms. He probably has his android body or something similar. And then if you've read the most recent issue, it's issue 4, as this video's being filmed, he actually is piloting the Dino Megazord. So I'm picturing a Krang android body, but he could also come with a chest plate you could install onto your Zap Megazord. I don't know if he made any other modifications to the Megazord. So far, I'm just getting that, yeah, Krang's just piloting the via the chest plate there. So maybe a chest plate with Krang in it. That'd be a really cool piece if it was made interchangeable with our pterodactyl chest piece from the Zap Megazord. I've already done a review of that. I really love that thing, by the way. I've still got to glue my saber-toothed tiger's fang on there, though. I haven't gotten around to that yet, by the way. I'm thinking of action figures we didn't get from the first miniseries. Foot Ninja Putties would be more phenomenal, or totally tubular, or whatever you want to call them. I've customized one of my own. I just put a putty head on a Foot Ninja body, but I think they actually wear the putty gloves. You're not able to do that with the Lightning Collection Foot Ninja, but I bet you Foot Ninja putties look pretty cool. I'd love one of those. When it comes to Zap, we did get a giant metal head kind of mech in the first miniseries, at least if I remember right. I haven't watched those video synopses in 9 or 10 months or thereabouts, but I think we got a big giant turtle mech. So, I mean, that would be a pretty ambitious Zap crossover event, but I'd love to see stuff like that. And while we're talking about Boom Studios comics, Gravezord would kind of be a fun one. These two Zords wouldn't be able to transform, I'm guessing, but I mean, they would make awesome additions to the Zap line. I really did like the Gravezord in Battle for the Grid. I still haven't gotten descriptions as to what his moves are, by the way, so if anybody knows, let me know about Gravezord's moveset there in the comment section pertaining to Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. He's one of my favorite Zord assists to utilize in Grid, by the way. I'll probably make a sequel vid to this because as of this video's filming in early April of 2023, issues 5 and 6 haven't come out yet, but I'll probably see more tantalizing Turtle Ranger stuff in the future. And I love kind of dreaming about what could be made in terms of action figure form. As I said earlier, action figures based on comic book representation. They're the next best thing to actually looking at the comic book panel itself. Anywho, that'll do for this video, and I will hear you guys in the next one. May the power protect you, and cowabunga, and all that good stuff.